You're really hurting, huh? I mean, did you break out into tears so quickly?
It hurts, Howard.
I'm
Recovery.
You're tired.
I'm just tired.
You're tired of the whole thing.
I'm tired of defending my character everywhere I go.
Did you ever consider...
Dana, I think you're a junkie les has-been and you belong in a mental hospital.
Well, I'm really sorry you feel that way, sir.
These were Dana Plato's final words on live radio. Less than 18 hours later, she was dead.
How weird was that?
You just never know.
You know, that happens to us a lot. We interview people and they die.
I know.
For 25 years, the world believed Dana died because she couldn't handle being a washed-up child star. But Howard Stern's own words reveal the truth.
Goodbye, everybody, and thank you very much for calling and saying hi to me, and thank you for blessing me, and also I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I really am.
Dana Plato's final interview reveals the systematic destruction that led to her death just hours later. On May 7th, 1999, Dana Plato walked into Howard Stern's studio at K-Rock in New York City, believing she was getting a chance at redemption. She had driven from Oklahoma with her fiancé, Robert Menchaca, hoping this major media appearance could revive her stalled career. She was scheduled to promote her upcoming appearance at Chicago's Expo of the Extreme, alongside bands like Motorhead and Fang. What she didn't know was that Stern's producers had already decided she would be the day's entertainment sacrifice.
So now, the last time we spoke on the phone to her lesbian lover, the lesbian lover was reporting her missing.
And she said she looked terrible and she was near death.
From the very first moments, Stern was setting traps designed to humiliate Dana. His reference to her lesbian lover was based on tabloid reports from her former roommate Jennifer, who had called media outlets claiming Dana was missing and using. Stern knew these allegations were disputed, but he led with them anyway because controversy created compelling radio content. Dana Michelle Plato had been America's sweetheart on Different Strokes from 1978 to 1986, earning up to $100,000 per episode as Kimberly Drummond. But her life had spiraled downward after being fired from the show due to her pregnancy in 1984. She'd lost custody of her son Tyler, been robbed by her accountant of nearly $1 million, arrested for video store robbery in 1991, and struggled with addiction for years.
I heard you were nervous to come in.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah, everyone would be nervous. Julia Roberts was nervous.
But why would Dana be nervous? She's been with us before.
Dana was nervous because she had everything to lose. At 34, this was potentially her last chance at mainstream media redemption. She'd been living in a Winnebago with Robert, taking small roles in B-movies, and fighting tabloid stories about her and sobriety. The Howard Stern Show reached millions of listeners. If this interview went well, it could change her life. If it went badly, she had nowhere left to fall.
Have you been in psychotherapy? Have you been on any medication or
I have
anything
been
like that?
sober for the longest time.
Really?
Oh, it's over a decade now.
Here's what changes everything about Dana's death. She claimed to be sober for over a decade, with the only exception being prescribed painkillers for recent wisdom tooth extraction. Whether entirely accurate or not, this was a woman fighting to rebuild her life after years of public humiliation. She'd served probation for her crimes, completed court-ordered rehabilitation, and was engaged to a man who was helping manage her career comeback attempts. But the real trap was still coming. Stern had carefully orchestrated what would happen next, and Dana had no idea she was about to be fed to the wolves. What happened next in Dana's final interview wasn't random audience participation. It was a coordinated assault that Stern and his producers carefully orchestrated. The Howard Stern Show received thousands of calls daily, with producers screening each one before putting callers on air. Every cruel voice Dana heard had been selected and approved by Stern's team.
You look a little bit wired here.
No. You know, I have been sober for the longest time. Gosh, for almost a decade now. I'll do a UA right now.
The moment Dana offered to take a test on live radio, she had fallen completely into Stern's trap. His producers had a testing kit ready in the studio. This wasn't spontaneous, it was planned. They knew that questioning her sobriety would provoke exactly this response, turning her desperation to prove herself into entertainment content. Robin Quivers, Stern's co-host and producer Gary Delabate, watched as Dana's composure cracked under the pressure. Fred Norris provided sound effects that mocked her responses. Jackie Martling laughed at her discomfort. This wasn't one person attacking Dana. It was an entire radio production team participating in her destruction.
John, you on here?
I just wanted to say to Dana, I can tell by your voice that you're full of it. Why would you say a thing like that?
Because it's so obvious. Listen to her. She sounds speedy.
This caller, John, wasn't making a casual observation. He was participating in coordinated character assassination. Stern's producers had screened this call, knowing exactly what John would say and how it would affect Dana. The accusation that she sounded speedy was designed to undermine her claims of sobriety without any medical evidence whatsoever. The pattern becomes clear when you examine the call screening process. Out of thousands of potential callers, Stern's team chose to put through multiple people who would attack Dana's credibility, mock her appearance, and question her mental health. They could have selected supportive callers or simply avoided caller segments entirely. Instead, they weaponized their audience against a vulnerable guest.
Hi, Todd.
Get this girl out of here. She's a has-been.
Oh, please.
Come on. She just needs to admit that she's an ex-druggie,
Yeah.
ex-con, lesbian with mental health problems.
This caller's attack was so vicious and specific that it reveals the coordinated nature of what was happening. The phrase ex-con lesbian with mental health problems wasn't a spontaneous insult. It was a calculated summary of every tabloid story about Dana, delivered like a prosecutorial closing argument. Stern enabled this attack by putting the caller on air and allowing him to finish his statement. By this point in the interview, Dana had been subjected to nearly an hour of systematic humiliation. But the most devastating moment was still to come. After nearly an hour of relentless attacks, something unexpected happened that would prove more devastating than any insult. A female caller broke through the hostility with genuine compassion, and Dana's response to this basic human kindness revealed just how thoroughly she had been broken by the systematic cruelty.
First of all, Dana, I think you sound wonderful, and I don't understand why these people are attacking you. You've been through so much, and I think you sound fantastic. Thank you. Oh, God, thank you so much.
The caller, Julie, provided the first genuinely supportive words Dana had heard in over an hour. Her simple statement, "I think you sound wonderful," caused Dana to completely break down. The contrast between Julie's compassion and the systematic cruelty she had endured made the abuse even more unbearable. For a brief moment, Dana was reminded of what normal human interaction felt like. This moment changes everything about how we understand Dana's death. Her emotional response wasn't just gratitude, it was the reaction of someone who had been so thoroughly dehumanized that basic kindness felt shocking. She had been conditioned by years of media abuse to expect cruelty as normal, making Julie's compassion feel almost overwhelming.
Thank you. That's really the nicest thing. Thank you.
You have touched her. She's crying. You really have taken a lot of crap, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's wiping her tears.
We have very few moments like this on the show.
Even Dana's breakdown was turned into content. Stern's comment, "We have very few moments like this on the show," revealed that he saw her tears as unusual entertainment rather than a sign that the interview had gone too far. Robin Quiver's observation that Julie had touched her and that she's crying treated Dana's emotional collapse as spectacle rather than recognizing it as evidence of genuine distress. But Stern wasn't finished. He had one more weapon to deploy against Dana, one that would become central to his post-death narrative and reveal the true depths of the cruelty she endured.
What do?
You pull out a hair,
Right.
and it tests. So I remember reading about this, and it's an over-the-counter test.
No.
Like the
Good.
Listen,
Let's test that.
I
Let's
have
take
no
that.
problem doing that.
The hair sample incident would become the most damning piece of evidence in understanding what really happened to Dana. Producer Gary Delabate had procured a testing kit, and Stern was pressuring Dana to submit biological samples to prove her sobriety to radio listeners. This wasn't medical care. It was public humiliation disguised as fact-checking. Dana initially agreed to the test, but the real revelation came in what happened after the camera stopped rolling. According to Stern's later claims, Dana privately begged for her hair sample back, saying she wanted it returned. Stern would later use this request as proof that Dana had been lying about her sobriety throughout the interview. But there's another interpretation of Dana's request, one that reveals the true cruelty of what had been done to her. After being subjected to systematic public humiliation, Dana may have realized what she had just submitted to, providing biological samples to strangers for their entertainment. Her request for the hair back wasn't necessarily an admission of use. It was a desperate attempt to reclaim some small piece of her dignity. The damage was already done. Dana left that studio having been called a liar, a addict, a has-been, and mentally unstable, all broadcast to millions of listeners. She had been forced to provide biological samples to prove her worth to strangers. She had experienced a brief moment of human kindness that only highlighted the systematic cruelty she'd endured for over an hour. By the time Dana Plato walked out of Howard Stern's studio on May 7th, 1999, she was a broken woman, and she would be dead within 18 hours. After leaving Howard Stern's studio on the afternoon of May 7th, 1999, Dana Plato and Robert Menchaca began the long drive back to California. They stopped in Moore, Oklahoma, at Menchaca's mother's house for a Mother's Day weekend visit. What happened in those final hours reveals how the interview had shattered Dana's will to live.
I see that Dana Plato died. She was on our show Friday.
She died on Saturday.
Yeah, that was weird. We were the last ones to do an interview. In fact, the New York Post wrote up the whole interview.
Yeah.
Which is weird. See how bad I am at telling the people are addicts? I'm sick.
On May 8th, 1999, Dana Plato was found dead in the Winnebago, parked outside Menchaca's mother's home. She had taken a fatal combination of Lortab, hydrocodone, and Soma, carsoprodol, prescription medications that, when combined, can cause respiratory failure. The Oklahoma medical examiner ruled her death after toxicology results showed lethal concentrations of both in her system. The timing was devastating. Dana spent her final days celebrating Mother's Day with Menchaca's family, thinking about her 14-year-old son Tyler, who lived with his father in California. She had limited visitation rights due to her past legal troubles and addiction struggles. The irony was heartbreaking. Dana spent her last hours on a holiday celebrating motherhood while being separated from her own child.
Listen, Howard, I changed my mind. Do you think I could have my hair back, please?
You gave it to us, remember?
What? I mean, please? Please, I just want my hair.
This audio clip, recorded after the official interview ended, reveals Dana's final moments in Stern's studio. Her request for her hair sample back would become crucial evidence in understanding her mental state. Stern later claimed this proved she was lying about being sober, but the desperation in her voice suggests something different. A woman realizing too late that she had been completely humiliated on national radio. What makes Dana's death even more tragic is the context of her recent life. She had been working to rebuild her relationship with her son Tyler, who was now 14 and living primarily with his paternal grandmother. She had found stability with Robert Menchaca, who was managing her career and supporting her comeback attempts. She had been cast in several small film roles and was scheduled for the Chicago concert appearance. The Howard Stern interview was supposed to be the centerpiece of her media comeback strategy. Instead, it became the final nail in her professional coffin and ultimately her actual coffin. The systematic humiliation she endured in that studio destroyed whatever fragile hope she had managed to build for her future. When Stern learned of Dana's death the following Monday morning, his reaction revealed everything about his attitude toward the vulnerable people he exploited for content. He didn't express remorse or examine his role in her final hours. He worried about how this would reflect on his ability to identify drug users. Even her death became content for his show. But the story doesn't end with Dana's death. Tyler Lambert was just 14 years old when he found out his mother was dead. He had been living primarily with his paternal grandmother, Joni Richardson, while maintaining limited contact with Dana due to her legal troubles and addiction struggles. What he learned about his mother's final interview would haunt him for the rest of his short life. On May 6, 2010, just 2 days before the 11th anniversary of his mother's death, Tyler Lambert shot himself in the head at his home in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was 25 years old, working as a cameraman and aspiring songwriter. The timing wasn't coincidental. Tyler had struggled every Mother's Day weekend since 1999, unable to escape the anniversary of his mother's public humiliation and death. Tyler had grown up knowing that millions of people had listened to his mother being systematically destroyed on the radio just hours before she died. The Howard Stern Show interview wasn't just broadcast once. It lived on in archives, circulated online, and was repeatedly referenced as an example of compelling radio. Every time someone shared or discussed the interview, Tyler was reminded of his mother's final humiliation.
Dana, I think you're a junkie les has-been and you belong in a mental hospital.
Well, I'm really sorry you feel that way, sir.
This clip, his mother apologizing to someone who had just called her a junkie and said she belonged in a mental hospital, represented everything Tyler couldn't forgive about how the world had treated Dana. He had spent 11 years carrying the weight of knowing that his mother's final public appearance had been designed to humiliate and destroy her. According to his grandmother, Joni Richardson, Tyler had been experimenting with and alcohol in the months before his death. She told People magazine, "It's a shame that such a talented human being would do this with his life. He had all the opportunities in the world, and we just can't understand it. He was talking so sweet to me on the phone that morning, but you never can tell what's in their mind."
Goodbye, everybody, and thank you very much for calling and saying hi to me, and thank you for blessing me, and also I'm sorry if I offended anybody. I really...
Tyler had heard these words, his mother's final apology on the radio, countless times over the years. Even after being systematically abused for over an hour, Dana had apologized for potentially offending anyone. This wasn't just politeness. This was the response of someone whose sense of self had been completely shattered, and Tyler knew it. The boy who had been 14 when his mother died had spent 11 years living with the knowledge that her final public appearance had been orchestrated specifically to break her down for entertainment. When Mother's Day 2010 approached, the same weekend as the anniversary of Dana's death, Tyler couldn't bear the weight anymore. Tyler's completed the circle of destruction that had begun in Howard Stern's studio on May 7th, 1999. 2 deaths, mother and son, both connected to a single radio interview that prioritized entertainment over human dignity. 25 years later, that interview would finally come back to destroy its architect. For over 2 decades, Howard Stern's treatment of Dana Plato was buried under his massive success and cultural influence. He moved from terrestrial radio to Sirius XM, signed deals worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and reinvented himself as a serious interviewer. But in 2025, the past finally caught up with him, and Dana's final interview became the weapon that would end his career.
The Sun reports, the Howard Stern Show on Sirius XM is set to be canceled after a stunning 20-year run. Sources exclusively told the U.S. Sun. Stern, who's 71 years old, has had a megabucks contract for decades.
As news breaks that Sirius XM is reportedly canceling Howard Stern's show after 20 years, the Dana Plato interview has resurfaced with devastating clarity. Social media has exploded with renewed outrage over Stern's treatment of the vulnerable actress. The same interview that had once been celebrated as great radio is now being recognized as evidence of systematic cruelty disguised as entertainment. Elizabeth McDonald, a prominent Fox Business host, posted on X, "Howard Stern's cruel treatment of actress Dana Plato is widely cited as the darkest segment ever in radio. The day after this brutal interview, the star of Different Strokes herself with an overdose of painkillers. Her post received millions of views and thousands of shares, reigniting public outrage over the interview."
How weird was that?
You just never know.
You know, that happens to us a lot. We interview people and they die.
I know.
Stern's casual response to Dana's death, "That happens to us a lot," became the smoking gun that destroyed his attempts to reinvent himself as a compassionate interviewer. In an era of increased awareness about mental health and media responsibility, his callous reaction looked not just insensitive, but sociopathic. The cancellation isn't just about ratings decline, though Stern's audience has reportedly plunged to just 125,000 daily listeners, a fraction of his peak popularity. It's about cultural reckoning. The same media landscape that had enabled Stern's rise is now demanding accountability for his actions. Advertisers have become reluctant to associate with his brand. Celebrity guests have been declining invitations. The entertainment industry that had once celebrated his fearless interviewing style is now distancing itself from his methods.
Howard Stern, as everyone has noticed, is a shell of his former self. He joins a long list of these guys, all from the same generation, who used to be kind of countercultural and edgy and funny, and provocative.
The Dana Plato case became the centerpiece of criticism against Stern's legacy. Media critics pointed out that he had built his empire by identifying vulnerable people and exploiting their pain for content. Dana wasn't his only victim. He had repeatedly mocked Anna Nicole Smith's weight and intelligence, both before and after her death from an overdose, and had exploited disabled individuals for entertainment. As the interview gains renewed attention in 2025, it becomes impossible to ignore the direct line between Stern's show and 2 deaths. Dana's 18 hours after the interview, and her son Tyler's on the anniversary of her death 11 years later. The hair sample incident, the cruel callers, the systematic humiliation, all of it had been designed to create compelling content at the expense of human dignity. Betty Bridges, the mother of Dana's Different Strokes co-star Todd Bridges, had predicted this reckoning back in 1999 when she told the New York Post, after going on his show, maybe she thought, I need to take a Valium to calm me down because people think I'm on. If you're not taking and they're saying you are, then you're tripping out. She's very sensitive. 25 years later, Betty's words proved prophetic. The entertainment industry that had once celebrated Stern's cruelty now recognizes it as exactly what it is, a systematic pattern of abuse disguised as entertainment. Dana Plato's final interview, once celebrated as compelling radio, now stands as evidence of the true cost of shock jock entertainment. As Howard Stern's show faces cancellation after decades on the air, the ghosts of his past finally catch up with him. The man who had once claimed that it's just entertainment when confronted about his methods now faces the reality that entertainment has consequences. Dana Plato's death wasn't just a tragic coincidence. It was the predictable result of treating vulnerable human beings as content rather than people. The final interview that was supposed to destroy Dana Plato has 25 years later finally destroyed the man who orchestrated her humiliation. Justice, it seems, has finally arrived. Anyway, that's it for the video, folks. Bye.